Blah freaking blah. What's going on, guys? It's Eric, blah freaking blah. Thank you for joining me. So, again, welcoming all the new subscribers. Thank you for joining me here. It's really good to have you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening. I hope you have a good time. And I had a couple of so a lot of you guys jumped on board with the my little Marvel trilogy of videos talking about legacy and generations and the heart of the matter, as I tried to call it, which is the heart of the where these guys are coming from that keeps them driving the ship into the iceberg. And I had a couple of guys going, dude, you sound terrible. You. So yes, I'm fine. I thank you for your concern. No, I'm not reading anything from Marvel right now. I have had some good suggestions for classic Mark Waid Captain America I want to check out. Thank you for that. And a couple of other really good suggestions that I want to check out. So what it was by the time those three videos were recorded at the same time. And I intended for it to be a podcast, and I realized it was so dense that it would be better suited to split them up. And the Weapon H idea, the skit that I had, my last video I talked about Weapon H and where the idea for that skit came from. That's about all I had for it. It looked a little weird. My inner 10-year-old thought it might be cool, but my 13-year-old thought it looked kind of stupid. So it kind of left me with, I don't know. But we never judge a book by its GIF. It's GIF. So maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. I eagerly await you guys looking at that and letting me know, and if I can get a copy of it, I'll look at it myself. The bookstore here in town, it's an actual bookstore, but about a year ago he started putting comic books on the shelf. He really wanted comic books in the market. He loved comic books, and he wanted to give it a go, and sadly, he has to stop. He's just not making any money on it. And I kind of talked to him a little bit. I asked him why, and there was really no. I just don't think the smaller town that I'm in has a market that will sustain it. But I'll tell you this: I went in with my boys and one of my nephews, and my nephew is 10. I've talked about this before in previous videos, but I hadn't really lived it. My kids a little bit, but I actually talked about it in the video, and then the same week it happened like in real life. It was quite surreal, where Emmanuel is looking at books, and he never gets a chance to go to comic stores. He's very excited. And he's like, oh yeah, Captain America, sweet. And he's picking up the book, and he's looking at me, and I was like, well, Captain America's a bad guy in this book. He goes, what? And I tried to explain it to him in like kid terms. Like, yeah, he's a bad guy right now, but I'm sure, I was like, I'm sure he'll go good again, it's just, and he just his face went blank. And so he put the book down. And then he looked at, I'm not kidding, guys, I'm not making this up. He's like, oh, sweet, Thor. He saw the movies, and he was looking for the books. And he's like, he's picking up Thor, and I went, well, that one's a girl. What? I was like, yeah, you remember Jane Foster from the movie? Yeah. Well, she's Thor now. Why? I don't know. I couldn't tell him. I really, honest to God, didn't know. And this happened on a couple more. He picked up Spider-Man. I was like, well, that's cool. That's Miles Morales. He's like, who's that? I was like, well, and then you have to start going to, well, he's kind of from an alternate universe, and yada, yada. The book goes down. And then, of course, you have the titles, which are actually maybe a good read, but they're not for kids. The books all go down. And this is a major, major problem. I mean, Marvel, you are just cutting your own legs off. You have got to stop this. Ugh. Look, if you want to keep up the shenanigans, do what I suggest, Marvel. I'm talking to Marvel here. Marvel, you are chopping off your own legs, Marvel. It's got to stop. Look, either make a SJW comic line for you guys to get your rocks off, kind of like Image is doing. Image is kind of the SJW line for a lot of guys. I saw a comic book, Diversity in Comics, the channel. The first video I watched, I think, of him was he was reviewing a book called The 1%, and it was so bad. It was the Occupy Wall Street movement embedded in a comic book. So if that's up your alley, there you go. But either make the SJW line or make a line of comics that align with the films. Basically, what Legacy should have been is stories about Bruce Banner and Thor and Peter Parker, not tech billionaire Peter Parker, but Peter Parker and Mary Jane, and tell the stories about Hawkeye and about Iron Man, not Riri Williams. Oh, that's right, he picked up an Iron Man. He's like, why is Iron Man blue? Well, you see, that's not Iron Man. That's an artificial intelligence. Where's Iron Man? I don't know. It was just, I mean, Marvel, see, the thing is, Marvel, they already got their sale by the comic book store owner, the bookstore owner in this case, just trying to put something on the shelf that people would recognize. And it was on the shelf, and when people recognized the name, but they didn't recognize the faces or the story or anything going on, I mean, there's no way they're going to track with this. And who's going to demand it of them? It's ridiculous. Oh, and then he picks up the Dr. Doom Iron Man? I was like, well, that's not Iron Man either. And he's like, it's just frustrated. He just walks away from it. And I think he ended up wanting to go get an icy with his money instead of buying a comic book. My other kids bought a couple of issues of Transformers, and we got some stuff out of the dollar bin, and I tried. I really did. Showed him the DC comics, but of course he was watching the Marvel films, and But so you have nothing that moviegoers can attach themselves to, and you have nothing that kids can attach themselves to. And you know what happens when you can't form a kid base of fans? Your industry is going to die. Because we all grew up reading comics. That's why we enjoy it to this day. I'm assuming that most of you are older guys. Maybe 20s, 30s, 40s, some even 50s. I mean, that's what my demographics show. Where are the kids? Where are the kids that were the us 20, 30, 40 years ago? That are growing up enjoying reading books. Because I don't think they're reading Marvel. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's not fit for kids. Let's face it. Even the PG-13 quote-unquote material, it's a little heavy for a 10-year-old, right? I mean, sometimes. Or an 8-year-old or 6-year-old. I mean, what? I don't know. It's bad. It's a bad strategy. It's a really bad strategy. There needs to be books that kids can read again. There needs to be something where people can, look at the heroes that they like and jump on board with an adventure and have fun. It's not to say that comics can't tackle issues. Of course they can. I mean, this pendulum's overswing needs to stop. When we say stop putting agenda in the books, it doesn't mean stop talking about anything. It's just make them fun and really say something, but not your stupid politics. There are problems in this world that Republicans and Democrats both, and independents and libertarians, all of it, struggle with or fight against. There's a lot we have in common. I mean, like drug use. You remember, that was a big controversy showing drug use in the comics, but it was showing the problem that is a human problem. Human. Anyhow. God, I deviated hard off the course on that one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I mean, do you guys agree that the lack of kid foundation for sales is going to really hurt them? Oh, and the price tag. My God, the price tag. Okay. You know what? This is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I think I'm going to go into it now. The price of comic books is too damn high. It just is. $4 a book is too high. It's part of the reason why people are buying more trades now. Not only because books are harder to keep up with all the massive amount of crossovers, But $4 a pop, and yes, some titles of DC are $3 a pop, and that's better. But to me, it's too high. So we've got a problem with people can't recognize the stories. They can't recognize the characters when they go to buy them. There's nothing for kids, hardly at all, and the price point's too high. Numbers are bad. Numbers are down. I think in my next video I want to get into some of the sales numbers for a couple of things. But for now, I want to say something that I've been wanting to say for a while, which is we need the newsstands back. A lot of people are making a big to-do about the sales numbers now versus like 20 years ago, and I'm like, you had the sales rack 20 years ago. The circulation was massive. And some of you guys may even be too young to even know about this. But have you ever picked up a comic book in the back issues and it said direct edition on it? Now, nowadays that's pretty meaningless, because if you ever buy a comic book, you're pretty much buying it from a comic book store. It's all direct edition. But it used to be there was a newsstand edition and a direct edition. And the direct edition was at the comic book store. The newsstand edition was on the newsstand. It was at the grocery store. It was at Walden Books, back when that existed. Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. You had the newsprint variants on the newsstands. There's a company called Alterna Comics out right now. I've read a couple of their books, and so far I'm intrigued by what they're doing, but their strategy is really simple. They started printing their comics on newsprint and selling them for $1 or $1.50. Now, they're a fairly new company, and they're already getting into Barnes & Noble. They're already getting in all these places. They're selling 3,000 to 4,000 copies per book, which for a brand new company is pretty good. But you can afford it. And Marvel, DC, this is for everyone. You need your books where people are. Stop making the people go to your books. You need to get them where the people are. Now, digital, I mean, frankly, if you're, any of you guys like me, I like physical. It's tangible. I'm not a big fan of digital. However, I encourage you not to shy away from digital altogether. And the reason why is because it's a great way to try new things inexpensively. Digital is a way of getting stories into people's hands, but it is not a good way of getting ad revenue, for starters. And digital, by its very nature, causes a separation. When you have to feel something and smell it and flip the pages and interact with it, it stays with you more. Sitting there flipping a glass screen is boring. There's no tangible connection to it. There's a tangible connection to the device, but not to the story, not to the book, not to the thing that you're supposed to hold in your hand. Don't underestimate the power of tangible art, a tangible work. Newsprint is inexpensive, and people can afford to try something new, and it can be everywhere. There's no place it can't be. When I'm in Walmart, I should see comic books with the magazines. When I'm in my local grocery store, Ingles or Kroger or whatever you guys have around you, there should be a comic rack, like there used to be. I mean, even $2. And if people want the high quality version, like the higher quality paper and the hard card, like almost the cardstock, the glossy paper, the high color. If you want that, get the direct market edition. Spend the extra money and get what you want. But if you're satisfied, if you just want to flip through a story real quick and spend $1.50 on it, I mean, you've got money left over. And God, when a comic book reader has money left over, he will usually scour the rack to find something to get with that money. Let's try something new. And I'm kind of, no pun intended, but I marvel at the way these companies, especially Marvel, their business practices, they're just bad. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me that a direct market and the newsstand edition returning would help the comic industry flourish again. Not to mention the extra ads. And let's not be so quick to kill the ad thing. I know a lot of people act irritated by ads, and yes, they do go overboard sometimes, but I'm like, look, advertisements help keep the lights on. They help keep the printers running. If it keeps things going, I'm all for it. Sell some ads, you know what, and I'll even buy something from them every so often, or write them a letter and say, you know, an email and say, hey, noticed your ad on that book that I like, thank you. Because I'll tell you what, guys, they really respond to that stuff. If you've never tried it, do it. Just try it sometime. Advertisers really respond. If you show them, if you engage with them over an ad, they will put more money and support into that thing. And so if you're a DC fan, a Marvel fan, I'm personally, you know, I'm a good story fan. But if you want to see something supported, you know, not only with your own money, but just take a little time and tell people thank you for advertising in this book, because this is one of my favorite books and I am eyeballing your product because of it. You don't have to buy it. Just let them know you're looking. That's all they want. All right. I think that's it for the night, guys. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate you. If you're new here and you've stuck around this long and you've actually made it to the end of this, God bless you. Please like this video and please subscribe and hit the notification bell. I would really love to have you around. You guys are awesome. Your comments have been awesome. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to leave your thoughts on any video. Don't matter how old it is. It doesn't matter. It's all new to me. If it's new to you, it's new to me. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't checked it out yet, please check out the skit for Weapon H. Cletus's Weapon H. I've named I've named him Cletus. Let me know if you want more or less of that, and what you'd like for me to talk about. If you guys have any subjects or movies or whatnot that you would like to discuss, please let me know in the comments below and let me know your thoughts as well. Love you guys, mean it, and I will see you again on the next one.